CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
If we look at the lives of the Trinity, we see that they had abundant blessings right from their birth to their being initiated into music, as well as in the way they attained mukti. All the three of them were born in Tiruvarur, and it's fascinating that the birth was foretold in mysterious ways. In the case of Sri Tyagaraja, his father Rama Brahmam had a dream where Tyagaraja, the presiding deity of Tiruvarur actually, appeared in him and told that he would beget a son who would be absolutely brilliant in terms of poetry and music. And he also, in the dream, he said that the son born to him should be named after him as Tyagaraja, and that is how he got this name. As far as Muthuswami Dikshidhar and Shyama Sastri are concerned, their parents observed severe austerities to beget a worthy son to the family. Muthuswami Dikshidhar's parents performed the Mandala Puja to goddess Balambika, the deity goddess who is there in the Vaidiswaran Koil. They performed puja for about 40 days, and on the last day, it is said that Ambal, Devi, appeared in the dream of Sri Dikshidhar's father and said that they would get a very, very rare kind of a son, a brilliant son, and that is how Muthuswami Dikshidhar was born. For Shyama Sastri, we see that the parents were asked by a Brahmin to perform Venkatachalapati Samaradhana on a Saturday of every month for 1 year, and after that Shyama Sastri was born. Coming to the way they were initiated into music, we see that here also it has been a divine initiation, very unique way in which they were actually brought into the fold of music. Tyagaraja, of course, had three gurus, I would say. One, of course, was Guru Ramakrishnananda, who initiated him into the Ramanama Taraka Mantra, and that is how he learned to do japa of the Ramanama and completed 96 crore japas. The second one, of course, was his musical guru, Sonti Venkataramanayya, the son of Sri Venkata Subbayya. Both of them were actually the court Mahavidwans in the Tanjavur court. But the divine guru in his life, of course, was Saint Narada, who came in the guise of a sannyasi to his house seeking bhiksha, and where he brought with him some manuscripts and left it there, and he went for actually to have a bath in the Kaveri, and he went, and after that he never came back. So Tyagaraja actually waited for this sannyasi who never came back, and at night Sage Narada came to his dream and said that it was he who had come as a sannyasi, and he also mentioned about the granthas that he had left back in his house, which immediately Tyagaraja opened and saw that the Svararnavam and the Naradiyam, two very, very important works, which opened up, absolutely a new world, I would say, to Tyagaraja in terms of understanding the realms of music. So that is how he was initiated into music in a divine way. And as for Muthuswami Dikshidhar, we see that one Chidambaranada yogi came into his life, and he taught him Sri Vidya Upasana and music. And this yogi actually also took him to Kashi, and it was under his guidance at Kashi that Dikshidhar stayed for 8 years, and he imbibed many deeper aspects about music. And having stayed in Kashi, he also imbibed some aspects of the Hindustani mode of music, the atmosphere of music. Everything got imbibed by him, and that we can see is well reflected in his compositions also. And this yogi actually taught him Tantra, Advaita Siddhanta, and Sri Vidya Upasana. Legend also has that after finishing his training at Kashi, Dikshidhar actually came to Tirutani, and here one old man actually put a sugar candy in his mouth. And after this, Dikshidhar got inspired and he sang his first song, Srinathadi Guruguho. Coming to Shyama Sastri, he also had a divine, I would say, initiation into music, in the sense that for him, pilgrim sannyasi from again Banaras by name Sangeetha Swami actually came to Tanjavur. And as it is norm to pay respects to sannyasis, Shama Shastri's father invited the sannyasi to his house to pay respects to him. When the sannyasi came home, he saw Shama Shastri, and he could sense that sense of, spark of some special quality in the Shama Shastri, and said that this boy will come up very great in music. And another coincidence happened that here we see that this sannyasi was actually well versed in music, and he offered to train Shama Shastri in the aspects of music, and he taught him lot of Lakshana Geetas, Swara Prastaras and all. Here it's a unique case again of a guru seeking the disciple, where he took him under his fold. And another unique thing here is that usually sannyasis do not stay in a particular place because they should not have any worldly attachment. But coincidentally, when he came to this Tanjavur, what happened was that it was Chaturmasya, that is 4 months when the sannyasis stay in a particular place and do not move anywhere out. So this Chaturmasya fell at that time. So these 4 months were the best part for Shama Shastri in terms of the fact that this sannyasi took him under his fold, and he taught him so many aspects of music, and also it is said that he gave him some very special sacred granthas for study, and this helped Shama Shastri much to blossom into a great musician and composer. Coming to the end life of these three great Bhagekaras, here also we see that the divine blessings, how it has happened, is very, very interesting to actually study. In the case of Shama Shastri, he actually attained Mukti on 6th February 1827. His wife died, and he was in deep grief, and just after 5 days of his wife's demise, on the 6th day, he passed away. And he very well knew that he would pass away on this day. So he called his son, Subbaraya Shastri, and told him his last wish, that after the prayers, he must be composed and chant the Karna mantra. The Karna mantra is the mantra that the sacred words that the son utters in the father's right ear during the last moments. So knowing about this, many people actually came to even witness this last, when he attained Mukti. Here Shama Shastri actually lay on the lap of his son, and he passed away, leaving behind a great legacy in terms of his compositions. We see that he left behind. As for Muthuswami Dikshidhar, he died a day prior to Deepavali in the year 1835. Here also a unique event took place before he attained Mukti. And a state elephant suddenly became uncontrollable and ran to outskirts of the town and reached the cemetery where it lay motionless. Now this was regarded indeed as a bad omen, and the Maharaja was totally disturbed, and he asked Dikshidhar why this was happening and what was the solution to this. At this time actually Dikshidhar was aware that this indication was of his own end, which was to come the following day. Next day what happened, he asked his disciples to all gather around him and sing the song Meenakshi Memudam. And when they were singing the line Meena Lochani Pashamochani, he asked them to sing that line again, and while they were singing, he breathed his last. After this, it is said that the elephant returned quietly to its original place. Coming to Sri Tyagarajar, he also, because of his intense devotion to the Lord, we know that he had the Lord's darshan. So he was also very much aware of the day when he was to attain moksha. And prior to the day of his siddhi, Tyagaraja described to his disciples the dimension of the pit to be dug for his laying his mortal remains. We also know that Tyagaraja was a Nadopasaka and had experience of listening to the Mooladharaja Nada, and which is a privilege of only a few of God's chosen ones. It was the Mooladharaja Nada which rose from the navel and escaped into the atmosphere through the automatic opening of the Kapala. And during the last moments, when those assembled, they heard the mysterious sound emanating from the saint's head. Thus we see that in the case of the Trinity, it is not like other Vagyakaras. Here they were divine Vagyakaras sent by God to us in terms of spreading the doctrines of spirituality on one side, and also laying a new path for music which has been followed by us, and in this sense they were also great trendsetters. But all this we could say that it was destined by divine blessings, and that is why these three Vagyakaras stand tall and unparalleled.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.